should. Do you know this man?
Who could do such a thing?
No. Okay, we can't.
My poor husband.
We also know about the strength requirement. Okay, so you can see this one here has two little vestigial tails, and it's got a split in half. So that means it can probably pair up to two different sets of information, but only one can be true. So it's either a feat of strength. We have to decide whether or not it was a feat of strength that pinned Mr. Carey to the wall, or whether it was a lucky throw that did it. Requires a much greater strength than the average man to be able to pierce a man's chest with a harpoon all the way through to the wall. A degree of skill would most likely be necessary. Two men in cooperation may achieve the same result. So it could be that the two people did it. But a skill of what? A whaler? Or it's a lucky throw. There's a remote possibility that an unskilled and untrained man could manage to pin Peter Carey to the wall with a harpoon. Okay. So that's that. Let's go analyze the letter then. We've figured out that his boot prints are that. Can I look at the logbook again? Oh, we should also check any of these. The break-in attempts matched the missing papers as well. So the break-in attempt is either retrieving the notebook or they were looking for papers, one or the other. One threw the harpoon, the other rushed him and pinned him to the wall. Ooh, yeah. Maybe he got stabbed and then the other person grabbed and they both shoved in. Yeah, you never know. The break-in attempts were made in order to recover the notebook that had been lying in the pool of the victim's blood. This proves the guilt of the person who made these attempts. Or, we had that previously. Now we've added to that. Nelligan was looking for his father's papers inside Black Peter's cabin. It explains his presence at the scene of the murder. But yeah, I mean, it's odd. He tries to break in and his notebook was already in there, which means he was already there to begin with, which means he had the opportunity to toss the place and find the paperwork. Why would he keep returning? He may have already gotten the papers and not realised he lost his notebook and then went back for the notebook. So I think if we go on the idea that he was the victim, he was the killer, he was retrieving his notebook. The papers were already gone, so it can't be that, but we'll see what other information we can tie together first. That's it, yeah, they're assuming it was thrown and not, that he was driven into the wall, by being pushed there. Your brain's already melting. Excellent. That is the task I have set myself for today. So, I love the fact that it gives you information, but you've still got to make a deduction. It doesn't just give you the answer. You've got to look at what's feasible and say, well, no, this guy, he was trying to retrieve his notebook, not the papers. The papers were already gone, but he said that he was trying to get in there to find the papers, and he didn't even know his notebook was missing. He thought he left it at a hotel, which could be the case. The killer could have had it. It could be a killer, another killer all along that did this, right? And he happened to have his notebook anyway, and went looking for the papers and then killed Peter Carey and ran off with the bonds and left poor Nelligan's notebook there, leaving him to flap in the wind. And done on purpose or by accident, who knows? So we can recover Hurtley's letter.
I need to prepare a chemical agent.
Oh, I remember this. I remember hating this.
For this purpose, the chemicals from the flasks should be combined in a certain order to perform a chain reaction.
I remember hating these chemical flasks.
All 7 reagents should be used. Second condition. Orange reagent should be the third one in the sequence after the blue reagent. Third condition. Colorless reagent should be added after the orange reagent.
Okay, so we've got to use all of these. So we know that one of the blues has to be used first. And then we don't know what the other 2 are, but we know that there's an orange reagent, so that's 4. And then the 5th one has to be an orange again, and a white. Or colourless, rather. So there's a green here and another colourless and another blue. This is the thing I didn't quite get, you know. It said he's got to use all 7 reagents. But it only shows 6 of them. So annoying. Hey, Shy. Good morning, sweetheart. So, yeah, I remember hating this, because I remember not quite understanding how it's supposed to work. Alright, well, let's start anyway. We've got the blue reagent first. So we'll use that one. Bloop. And then it could be the green one. Let's listen to him again.
First condition. All 7 reagents should be used.
All have to be used.
Second condition. Orange reagent should be the 3rd one in the sequence after the blue reagent. Third condition.
Technically the 4th.
Colorless reagent should be added after the orange reagent.
So a blue. Then there are 2 that we don't know. And then an orange. I don't know. Let's just play. Let's figure this out. So a green one. And another blue one, I suppose. And then the orange one. And the colourless one. And then maybe an orange one and a colourless one again. I think that's what it's trying to get me to do. I don't know.
Done. Now I can proceed further.
Stand back, I'm doing science! That was luck. You're absolutely right, that was luck. Look at me figuring shit out. No, you can come back, that was luck. Because that diagram doesn't really measure up. I was going on the principle that maybe it didn't matter whether the green and blue had to be done in a certain way around. It didn't really care. It's as long as you put both in, and the coloured ones are the only ones that matter in that sequence. And it was weird that the other one was like below it, and it's like you use an orange one, and then you use an orange one again and then a clear one? Or are you supposed to use the clear one after that orange and then do it again? I don't know. You were fully prepared to tell me how to do it. Yeah. Alright, so let's use it. Let's smear it around. Okay. Okay, so we can't get rid of that other bit there.
I did as you asked and hid them well. Interesting. How would Hurtley react to this?
Hid what well, I wonder? I did as you ask and hid them well, but I beg you to reconsider. Something Eon... I swear, probably. And, remember our vows, I have done nothing dishonourable, for which you something me. And we know his boots matches the footprints at Woodman's Lee. Let's try connecting some of these dots again. So the missing papers are in the tin box. We know that much. And it probably contained all the valuable bonds and certificates from Dawson and Nelligan. And they were kept inside a stolen tin box, which Peter Carey probably found or stole while they were out and about up in Norway. We know those don't link together. Okay. Slowly but surely piecing it all together. Let's go question Liam Hurtley now. And maybe once we're done with this, young Master Wiggins, will have found some of those sailors we can talk to. Let's just check if there's anything else, come on, in the evidence room that we should be looking at.
These are the suspect's belongings.
The pen was unremarkable. We don't know what that bag is. Doesn't matter. Is this game part of the immigration test? Make sure you're smart. I don't need a test. I am smart. Oh, hey, we can go in Lestrade's office now. Sweet. Let's have a look. What has he got? Oh. He's been studying the shape of noses. 50 shapes of nose. Previous incidents beg to differ. What? What are we talking about here? What is this aspersion upon my intellect?
How is the investigation going, Mr. Holmes? Do you have any idea who the murderer is yet?
Yes, it was you, Inspector. Maybe not. Who's in? Oh! Here we go, Mr. Liam Hurtley. Okay, so we have to pull somebody in here. So I could speak to John Nelligan again.
What am I doing here? I've done nothing wrong.
I can't speak to him again.
Please escort this suspect for interrogation.
Put him in the chair.
Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Sherlock Holmes.
And get him a cup of tea.
I would like to ask you a few questions.
I've already told the police that I've nothing to say. And you're not even part of the police.
Precisely. And considering your situation, it might be wise to speak with someone who is, shall we say, rather more neutral. You are a suspect in a murder case.
I know. Inspector Lestrade told me.
I know, right?
It's
It did.
ridiculous.
Could you at least tell me who you are, and exactly what happened that you should be brought here?
My name is Liam Hurtley. That I can tell you. But you're not getting any more than that.
Well, we shall see.
I'm going to apply my X-ray vision. I will get more out of you yet. Have a look. Thing on this side. Oh, a scar. He probably got snagged on like a hook on the net or something, I bet. See, it's probably a fisherman. It's quite well dressed. A handkerchief with a crested tit. That was on the, there was a notebook on the table, on the garden table. With the widow, had a crested tit on it. Interesting. Plant remains. He's the gardener. The gardener that she said they didn't have. Gardener's hands.
Tell me, Mr. Hurtley, what were you doing at Woodman's Lee?
Woodman's Lee? I've never been there.
Bullshit. Your boots match, first of all, in the garden. And it was a well-kept garden, but that's circumstantial right now.
The second pair of boots that you had with you when you were arrested perfectly match the footprints found near the cabin where Peter Carey was murdered.
Footprints? That's your proof?
Yes.
How many men have boots like mine? That doesn't make me a murderer.
This may be true.
Now
However,
that
you're
your
also a
presence at
gardener.
Woodman's Lee has been proven, would you care to explain it?
I don't remember. What would I be doing there anyway?
Gardener.
Because you are the gardener at Woodman's Lee.
I'm not. How did you...
How did I what?
observed
No,
your
not
hands.
that.
They told me that you work with the earth. Small fragments of plants snagged to your trousers indicate that you were mowing very recently. But the most obvious clue presented itself in the bird embroidered on your handkerchief. A crested tit, if I'm not mistaken.
All right, you got me. Yes, I am a gardener, and I went there to get my tools.
About the letter, then.
So tell me, Mr. Hurtley, what did you hide?
Hide? What are you talking about?
What are you hiding? Your letter, of course.
I did as you asked, and hid them well. Should I continue?
My letter? But the ink? That's impossible.
A touch of chemistry, nothing special.
Well, you're a smart one, but it's nothing.
Smart.
If you want to know, I was referring to my tools. It was to do with my work, see?
Why would you hide your
I will
tools?
check that, Mr. Hurtley. That's all for now. Hurtley's stories are false leads, but now I know one thing for certain. I must examine the site where the garden tools are kept at Woodman's Lee.
Mm-hmm. All right. The game is afoot, as they say. More likely he hid the strong box with the bonds in it. Let's have a look at documentations. What else have we got? I'd like to see that book with the list of names in it again. You know, the logbook? See if Liam Hurtley's name is among them. I believe it was. So it would prove that he knew Dawson from the Whaling Days. Carey from the Whaling Days, right? Is the logbook still in here? Can I look at it again? No, I can't look at them now. Let's engage Witcher Vision. Yeah, there's the book with the crested tit on it. You lied to me, by the way. You've got to talk to me about that now.
Does the name Liam Hurtley mean anything to you?
No, I don't know anyone by that name.
Bullshit.
Madam, we have information that the valuable stolen papers are hidden amongst the garden tools here at Woodman's Lee. We need to find them.
Oh, my. Our tools are kept inside the shed that's right behind me. Here is the key to open it.
Thank you, madam.
She's lying about Hurtley. That's for sure. She told us, A, they don't have a gardener, and B, she's never heard of this guy.
Hidden here.
But he's confessed to being their gardener, so that's bullshit. Who was the letter to, by the way? That's a question. Could have been to her. rather than to Peter Carey. So at first I was thinking to myself, well, he might not have done it, because if he was writing a letter, it was to Peter Carey saying I hid the documents. Like if Peter Carey knew he needed to put them into hiding, and then he realised, oh, he's dead, I need to run in case they think it was me. But no, the wife's involved in that cover-up. Here we go. So it could have been a letter to her, and they hid the documents on her wishes.
Let us see what is in this box.
Oh, I forgot about the lock-picking mechanic. Okay, so we have to rotate these cylinders so that these lines can match up. There we go. They're not always that simple, if I remember. A bunch of letters. They're not the bonds.
A bundle of letters in a woman's hand with the Carey family monogram. Hurtley and Mrs. Carey were in a relationship. That is interesting.
Oh. What did I say earlier? Two biggest motives for murder: money and love. Stick them together, oh my. Ooh. You had motive and opportunity. Access to the sheds. Liam, my dear, you've been so good to me all the time that I've known you. I cannot describe the feelings, but I suppose that they are sinful, and no good can come of them. I fear what might happen. I fear going against God. I thank you for your care, but I cannot leave the man with whom I have been bound by God. It is his divine will, and thus my husband is the cross that I must bear. He makes my life... how do I move the thing? There it is. A living hell, but bruises fade, and you must not worry for me. He hid the love letters as she asked him to. Okay, so she asked him to hide all their correspondence before the husband found out. He could have killed the husband in a fit of jealous rage after being turned down like this. Remember our vows as well. I wonder what they vowed. Is there anything else in here we should look at first? Doesn't seem to be. No. Okay. He didn't come back here for his tools. He came back here to see her and saw police everywhere. And she would have known we'd figure this out. She could have played dumb.
Madam, I am aware of your affinity with Liam Hurtley.
Oh, what are you talking about?
Oh, don't play coy. You know. There's romantic correspondence.
Mrs. Carey, we found your letters.
My letters? I asked Liam to return them to me. I wanted to burn them.
Why did Mr. Hurtley put them inside the garden shed?
I don't know. I wanted them back, but I couldn't see him, not after what happened.
Well, here they are.
Oh, this is terrible. Terrible. Liam, how could he? After what he has done.
She believes him to be the murderer?
You believe that he killed your husband?
No, I do not know. I do not know. Leave me alone, please.
Thank you, madam. I wonder if Wiggins has managed to find any sailors.
Alright, let's put some of this info together. But they were now romantically corresponding. Which one does that link to? Liam Hurtley loved Judith Carey so desperately that his jealousy could have provoked him to commit a murder. Possibly. And now that's given us another a conclusion, look. Oh. So if I believe that he's looking for papers, then it gives us another conclusion here. So John Nelligan could have been caught stealing the bond certificates. It might have been a motive for him to murder Peter Carey. Or we think he's innocent. John Nelligan is a victim of circumstance. He does not fit the portrait of the murderer, either by physical or physiological description. I kind of believe that, actually. I don't think he did it because he's too scrawny to even a lucky throw. No, this was a skilled hand. Somebody killed him. But if it was a motive for murder, then it doesn't match up to looking for papers. So he was retrieving his notebook instead. That now matches up. So this is how this synaptic system works. You have to figure things out, and then you use this in the end to determine what happened and make your conclusion and accuse the right person. Or the wrong one. Okay, so his relationship with Judith Carey gives him a motive for killing Peter Carey. Nelligan and Hurtley are lying and therefore they are working together. Possible conspiracy. The golf ball of conspiracy. Well, what does this lead to? That means it would have to be a feat of strength. It couldn't be a lucky throw. Otherwise it invalidates the theory. It's a feat of strength. This ties together 2 murderers. Okay, so that's what we have for now. If you guys can hear tinkly bells while I'm talking, it's because there's an ice cream truck outside. I kind of want ice cream now. Let's go back to Baker Street. Let's see if Master Wiggins has found us something. Yeah, ice cream truck, meanwhile it's been snowing there. Oof. Yep. I mean, it's always a good time for ice cream though, right? This guy circles around here sometimes, even when it's like -10 out there or something in winter. So yes, it does get that cold
Mr.
here
Holmes,
sometimes.
We found the sailors from that list you gave us.
Well done, Wiggins. Let me see.
Okay. So, alright. The harpooner died a week ago. But there's Patrick Cairns, and Jamie Lancaster. He's the helmsman. He's a harpooner as well. It wouldn't be a sailor or another sailor. Wouldn't be the cook. I mean, unless he's used to like herding people out of the kitchen for giving him, you know, shit over his cooking with a harpoon. -10 isn't cold. Well, it is here. It still doesn't put you in the mood for ice cream. It's cold enough for that, I think. If he died a week ago, couldn't be him, so it's got to be Patrick Cairns.
This man is a harpooner, and his initials are PC, the same initials that were
On the
found
tobacco
on the
pouch.
tobacco pouch.
I almost forgot about the tobacco pouch, so I'm glad Holmes
Wiggins,
remembered.
could you gather some information on one of the sailors that you found? His name is Patrick Cairns.
Sometime later.